Secretary of State Rex Tillerson made a pretty embarrassing admission this week about how this administration governs. He did it in an interview with Condoleezza Rice, another war criminal. Let's listen.
We know that your boss loves social media. So what's it like, and how do you deal with the constant pressure of social media, especially out of the White House?
Well, he's world-class at social media, and I'm not. And I'm going to confess here, in the heart of the creation of this great technology, I have no social media accounts. I've never had any, and I don't intend to have any. It is a great tool when it's used well. The president has used it to great effect by bypassing the traditional means of communicating, and he absolutely thrives on this ability to instantly communicate, not just to the American people, but to our friends and allies, or to our adversaries, to the entire world. I don't know when he's going to do that, because that is just the way the president operates. So the challenge is just getting caught up, because I don't even have a Twitter account that I can follow what he's tweeting. So my staff usually has to print his tweets out and hand them to me. Now, on the one hand, you could say, well, that's nuts. Why don't you get an account? But on the other hand, I've actually concluded that's not a bad system, because it goes out, and I don't know it's going to go out. So there's not a whole lot I'm going to, do until it's out there. By the time I find out about it, there's actually been some period of time, and depending on where I am in the world, it might be 5 minutes or it might be an hour before somebody hands me a piece of paper and says, hey, the president just tweeted this out. I already have the early reactions to that, and it allows me to now begin to think about, all right, how do we take that then into, if it's a foreign policy issue, what is he's tweeting about, how do we take that and now use it?
He's saying that Donald Trump governs by tweet. That's what his explanation is there. He's saying, yeah, look, I don't have social media, but what happens is anytime he tweets, my staff will give me a actual sheet of paper that has his tweets printed out on it. And then I say, how do I take this and apply it and actually use it in terms of foreign policy or whatever? That is a fucking terrifying thought, because we see what he's tweeting all the time. When it comes to North Korea, for example, it's always like, only one thing will work. Only one thing will work. Hey, we tried to make peace and everything. Only one thing will work. He threatens them. Little rocket man, he calls him. Okay, terrible. You're going to take the brain farts of a senile old man and say, all right, let's try to make this policy. Oh, no. Remember, he banned transgender people from the military via tweet. He's like, yes, we've decided. What? Pretty sure this isn't the standard way you go through the legal channels if you want to do something. I've decided we're going to ban it. By the way, a court ended up striking that down, thank goodness. The Muslim ban, total and complete shutdown of Muslims, that was struck down, at least in part, by a court. But this is how he governs. What you read on his Twitter feed is what they try to do, which again is a terrifying thought, because it's often very hawkish with North Korea, with Iran, super hawkish, with issues of free speech and the free press, terrifying, because he wants a crackdown on them. Talks about delicensing news agencies and... There's no depth there. That's the thing. Like, I think some people believe, oh, he's like playing chess. He says one thing, and then he'll get behind closed doors. He'll do another thing, and he'll portray one thing, but really he's playing you because behind closed doors he's doing this, this, and that. Nah, son. That's not true. What you see is what you get. And what you got is a from-the-hip kind of guy who has no filter, but he's also not smart at all. And he's being hawkish on foreign policy, being right-wing on economics, being a staunch opponent to free speech and a free press. And now you know that his team behind the scenes is like, okay, let's try to implement all this backwards idiocy.